What?
That's Jack, my bootmaking teacher.
Now, y'all stand back. I'm going to dump the herd here.
Jack learned to make boots when he was a youngster, growing up in Roswell, New Mexico.
I boarded with a family that had a boot and saddle shop. When I got out of high school, I didn't want to do it for a living. I had a lot of running and playing I had to do. I'd get broke and I'd go get a job in a boot shop somewhere. But I blew up a knee. I could no longer ride horseback for a living, so I went back to making boots and have been doing that for 25 years. I've almost got it figured out.
That's me. I grew up in Humboldt County, California, a place my family has lived for 7 generations. By the time I left high school, I thought I'd had my fill of country life, which was convenient since there weren't many employment opportunities for me at home. I left for college and then landed a job at a high-tech outfit in San Francisco. It wasn't long, though, before I was homesick. I don't know when it happened, but all of a sudden, patching fence and bucking hay started sounding like a lot of fun, very much worthy of a 5-hour drive home. I think it was this same longing that made me email Jack one day to see if he'd show me how to make boots. Jack is a great teacher, and he believes in taking his time. Leather is an unforgiving material to work with, so there isn't a lot of room for mistakes.
See, what you want to do is, ideally, you'll lay your top out to where the stretch goes across the top. Mm-hmm. When you put your foot down in the top will expand.
Glenn is another one of Jack's students. He's hoping to retire from school teaching soon and start a second career as a bootmaker. He's been coming up to Jack's for about a year now.
I read about him in one of those boot books, believe it or not. I can't remember which one, but they had his address. I thought, there is no way somebody in Manton makes boots, because I knew where Manton was, right? I just couldn't believe it. So I called him up, and he said, yeah, come on out here. And that's why I've been doing it ever since.
The experience that comes with age hasn't dampened Jack's youthful enthusiasm for life. Every time I visit, he tells me a handful of new stories about his adventures. I believe them all, too. Except maybe the one about how his family drove bullfrogs to San Francisco during the Great Depression. It would take days to share all of the stories with you. So instead, here's a little taste.
He sent me up there to sort the cattle. We loaded that, I would say he was probably 1,200-pound, 2-year-old buffalo in the back of that pickup. Well, actually, Rosie was already in Elko. We had a couple of pillows, we had a sleeping bag and a blanket or two, and a bottle to pee in. And I got on Stan Brock's horse and went and roped the bear. Of course, the first run I reached up and knocked my wig off. And no kid stuck his head in the door, said, my God, you're from California. It was, the aliens have landed. The Pope admired his boots and the dummy gave them to him.
Part of being one of Jack's students is getting to know his routine. After a few hours' work, we head down to the diner for a morning meal, as does most of the rest of Manton, California. Or at least it seems that way. I felt like I'd met everyone in town within a few days. After lunch, it's back to work. Well, at least for me.
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to let you play with this a little bit and think about this and look at leather and, try some different colors if you so desire, and I'm going to go take a nap.
Once we spent a few more hours working on our boots and the day is coming to an end, there's still more work to be done. It turns out that an important part of learning how to make boots involves helping Jack with his chores. It's nice, though, after spending most of the day trying to learn something new, to finish with tasks I've got years of experience doing. I'm making my second pair of boots now, but after I made my first, I wore them everywhere I went, all the way from the home place in Humboldt County to San Francisco to New York City. I was pretty proud of them, and I admit it, I wanted to show them off. They may look like just an ordinary pair of brown leather boots to some people, but every time I pull them on, I am reminded of the time I get to spend with Jack.